Newsom could pass a lie detector test on saying anything. Like there's a coldness inside that
he's
allows
a sociopath. I think
That's
he's
kind of
a
the word.
snake oil salesman. I think he's a liar. And I think that he destroyed the state of California.
You know, sometimes politics feels like a bad Netflix series that just won't end. Same characters, same recycled plot twists, the same predictable nonsense week after week. But every once in a while, a moment happens that makes even the most loyal fans of the political drama stop, rewind, and say, wait a second. Maybe the main character isn't who we thought he was. And that's exactly what's happening right now with Gavin Newsom. Now, let me warn you, this isn't your usual Newsom is a bad governor rant. Nope. This goes way deeper because the mask is starting to slip. And here's the kicker. It's not just conservatives calling him out anymore. When people on the left, yes, the left, start exposing Newsom for what he really is, you know something's unraveling. Enter Ana Kasparian from the Young Turks, someone who has built her entire career defending progressive causes. She recently dropped a bombshell, and let me tell you, it landed hard. She called Gavin Newsom what many critics on the other side of the aisle have been saying for years, a sociopath. And let's be real, when even your own cheerleaders are labeling you cold-blooded, calculating, and disconnected, it's probably time to let go of that future president fantasy. Because the truth is, if you can't even keep your base behind you, the White House isn't a dream. It's a delusion.
As shafted Californians who have lost everything in wildfires, the fire in Paradise, California was absolutely devastating. An entire community burnt down.
But let's back up for a second. Why does this even matter? Gavin Newsom has long been painted as the golden boy of the Democratic Party, the guy with Hollywood looks, polished speeches, and enough charm to sell water to a drowning man. He's the one they keep floating as the backup plan if Biden ever completely falls apart. The so-called savior waiting in the wings. But here's the kicker. What happens when people start realizing that the savior isn't actually saving anything at all? That's the moment where the image cracks. Gavin Newsom, the poster boy of the left, suddenly looks a lot less like a hero and a lot more like part of the problem.
Newsom, he's got some talent, I think, and charming for sure. But like, what is going on? Is he aware of that? I've asked him, and I can't
You really find him charming?
Well, in a kind of
Let's start with the wildfires. If you're from California, you know this story all too well. Entire towns wiped out, families losing everything, and right in the middle of the chaos, Gavin Newsom strutting around like he had it all under control. He bragged about helicopters, water supplies, fire trucks, painting this picture of a state fully prepared for disaster. But when the flames actually came, reality hit harder than a freight train. Over half the fire trucks had busted hydrants. The dams already destroyed. It was like promising Californians a safety net and handing them a paper napkin when they fell. Meanwhile, as people choked on smoke and watched their lives turn to ashes, Newsom was busy polishing his PR image. That's not leadership, that's deception with a smile.
Devoted to winning people over.
Yes,
kind of like Bill Clinton was, and I think he's good at it. But I also think someone said to me the other day, Newsom could pass a lie detector test on saying anything. Like there's a coldness inside that allows.
And it gets worse. When investigators traced the cause of the Paradise Fire, the one that destroyed an entire community, it wasn't just some freak accident. No, it was PG&E, Pacific Gas, and Electric.
Fire in Paradise, California was absolutely devastating. An entire community burnt down as the result of PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, that's the utility company, refusing to upgrade their aging equipment.
The company had been running ancient, outdated equipment everyone knew was a ticking time bomb. One rusty hook gave way. Power lines came crashing down, and suddenly Paradise was gone. Now here's where the real betrayal kicks in. Who protects PG&E? Who shields them from lawsuits and accountability? You guessed it, Gavin Newsom. Why? Because they're one of his biggest donors. While Californians were grieving and sifting through rubble, their governor was busy making sure the very company responsible for their destruction stayed safe. That's not just negligence. That's selling out your own people to pad your future campaign coffers.
Equipment is over 100 years old. And so what started that fire was this metal hook that had eroded to the point where it broke. Power lines come crashing down onto dry brush. It sparks a fire and destroys an entire community.
And let me tell you something. When Ana Kasparian, someone who spent her career defending Democrats, comes out and calls Newsom a sociopath, that should stop everyone in their tracks. That's a huge red flag, folks, because it means the truth is finally too big to ignore. But this isn't just a one-off, it's a pattern. Wildfires are only one chapter in a much bigger book of failures. Take homelessness, for example. If you've been to California lately, you know the crisis is out of control. Sidewalks lined with tents, entire neighborhoods swallowed by encampments, families forced out because crime and filth have made living there impossible.
Homelessness really exploded in Los Angeles. Like, it's always been a problem in LA.
Yep.
But it now touches every square mile of that.
And make no mistake, this didn't happen by accident. California has poured billions into programs that were supposed to solve the problem. Newsom loves to talk about compassion, bold solutions, and making progress. But the numbers don't lie. Homelessness has skyrocketed under his watch. He hasn't just failed to fix the crisis, he's managed to make it worse.
Addiction, not just in LA, all across the country. Has there been any effort to do anything about this?
Zero.
And it makes me really angry.
The Sacklers are still billionaires.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. If a governor can't stop his state from literally burning and he can't keep people off the streets, what exactly qualifies him for higher office? Smooth speeches, tailored suits, and the ability to dodge tough questions might earn applause at a rally, but they don't save lives. And don't get me started on the border. Remember when Kamala Harris was crowned the so-called border czar? How's that working out? Chaos, cartels, fentanyl, and violence. While Trump at least tried to push back, Newsom blocked deportations, undermined security, and shielded criminals, all in the name of compassion.
Unless we are willing to be honest, unless we're willing to tell the people trying to smear us, to silence us, that they can F off, nothing's going to improve. Everything's going to keep going down. Everything is going to continue devolving. In my lifetime, this country has only gotten worse, not better.
You know what that isn't? Compassion. You know what it is? Betrayal. The ugly truth. Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, AOC, pick your progressive darling. They're all playing the same game. It's not about results. It's about image, optics, applause lines. They live for the cameras but vanish when the real work begins. And Americans, they're done with it.
I want real authenticity. I want real accountability. I want politicians who are willing to see that the policies they advocated for aren't working quite as they intended, and they're willing to recalibrate, admit that maybe they got something.
Now, let's zoom out. This isn't just about one man. It's about a Democratic Party that has perfected the art of distraction. Wildfires, homelessness, a broken border, they throw shiny objects in your face to keep you looking elsewhere. Russia collusion, endless gender debates, smoke and mirrors. While you're arguing on Twitter about pronouns, your paycheck, your safety, your community, they're being ignored. That's the genius of their strategy. Keep you distracted, keep you divided, and protect their donors while securing their own careers.
The Democratic establishment, the Republican establishment, there's a lot of similarities between the two.
They're in alignment.
Exactly. On the big issues that matter.
War and the economy.
War and the economy.
Biggest issues.
100%. They love to distract us with shiny things.
Yeah, have a race war. It's totally 100%.
Fine.
Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom is quietly auditioning for the presidency, hoping you're too distracted to notice the trail of failures he's left behind. But people are waking up. When even progressives start saying enough is enough, that's a sign the narrative is cracking. You can only cover up the truth for so long before reality comes crashing through.
They love to distract us with shiny things.
Yeah, have a race war. It's totally
100%.
Fine. Yeah.
All these social issues. By the way, social issues are important. I'm not minimizing them, but the way that they're framed by the establishment.
And here's the bottom line, folks. Gavin Newsom doesn't represent the future of America. He represents everything broken about politics today. He's not a savior. He's not a leader. He's a salesman, a man willing to sacrifice his own state just to polish his resume for the White House. The fact that even his own side is starting to see through him, that's the real story. So let me leave you with this question. How many more smooth talkers do we have to suffer through before we demand results? How many more times will we watch leaders put donors above people, optics above solutions, politics above lives? Because until we hold them truly accountable, nothing's going to change.